Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be trying a lot of Korean makeup as well as Japanese makeup, generally Asian influenced makeup. If that's something that you're interested in, make sure you keep on watching and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. I recently discovered that one of the malls that's relatively close to my house has a Japanese pop-up store, and this is one of those regular sort of Japanese drugstores, kind of like a Daiso but a little more high-end. And I remember Daiso very fondly from my time in Japan. I actually miss it and I really hope they do open up a couple of locations in Canada, but that's besides the point. I decided to head over there because I wanted to see what kind of makeup and beauty they had. And boy was there a lot of stuff in the store. They had tons of sheet masks. I think it was about a wall and a half of just sheet masks from a lot of brands that you probably recognize. Most prominently, Innisfree is the one that I was looking out for. I know they had an entire wall that was dedicated to Dr. Jart. They also had the Shake and Shot rubber masks, which are awesome but expensive. They were only $12.95 at Sukoshi Mart, whereas at Sephora they're I think at the $15 price point, so a little bit less expensive over there. Although I did discover that a lot of their masks were a little bit up there in price, especially now that Walmart has started to carry Innisfree. It is less expensive to go over there and pick up those masks than it is from Sukoshi Mart. I did see tons of stuff from COSRX, which is another brand that I absolutely love. Their salicylic acid cleanser is one of my favorites. I saw some Hydra Patch eye gels, a bunch of other different brands that aren't really coming to mind right now, but as I've been talking, you've probably been seeing a bunch of clips of stuff that I filmed while I was in the store. One side of the store had a bunch of beauty and skincare, and then on the other side you had more of the like stationery stuff. There were some stuffed animals there and a bunch of snacks, which I'm always a big fan of. I love Japanese candy. I think it's so much fun. And I did find a couple of things from Meiji, which did catch my eye. You know, my Melty Kiss I'm a big fan of, but again, it was a little overpriced there. It's a little bit cheaper over at Miniso for anyone who's interested. But I did finally find my Kit Kats. So one of the things that I really enjoyed when I was in Japan was actually discovering how many flavors of Kit Kat they have. And only on Mount Fuji will you find a strawberry cheesecake flavored Kit Kat. I know, crazy, but it is delicious. I regret not buying more or ordering it from overseas and having it shipped to my house. Having said all of that, I did end up finding a couple of makeup items that I was really interested in trying out. I have a foundation, I have a primer, and I have a couple of eye products that I have previously purchased, but I have never actually used except for, I think once I used one of the eye quads. But aside from that, I haven't really touched many of the items that I'm going to be using today. For everything that I don't actually have, because I didn't want to spend all of my money on a full face of makeup from the store because the stuff was a little bit up there in price, I'm going to be substituting things that I already have in my collection that are J Beauty or K Beauty. The first item I have comes from Innisfree, which is one of my favorite Korean beauty brands. I love 80% of the skincare that they produce and some of their makeup. I wouldn't say everything that they've ever come out with is amazing, but for the most part they have really, really good items. But I've never tried their primer, and this is the No Sebum Blur Primer. So it's gonna be oil control and it's also going to smooth out my skin. I was able to try this in store and I was very impressed with what it did to the back of my hand. And this is kind of reminiscent of a primer. It was like a pore filling, wrinkle filling primer that I found from Misha when I was in Korea. Unfortunately, every single store that I walked into was sold out of it. And ever since then, I have been hunting for it, but I haven't been able to find it anywhere, which is really unfortunate. I think at this point they've probably discontinued it. I'm just gonna take this primer. Actually, let me zoom you in first. Hello. I'm gonna take this primer on my fingers. That's what it looks like. So it kind of has the Benefit Professional look to it. I'm just gonna grab some from my forehead, a little too much went in it. It certainly feels very, very slippery. So this isn't your like Hydro Grip primer from Milk, which is actually another primer I really want to try out. This one here I think has a lot of dimethicone in it. Next up is gonna be my foundation, and this is the one that I picked up. It does come from the brand Etude. I promise that's not me sneezing. That's the way you say the brand. This is the Triple Wear Foundation. It does have SPF 20 in it. I can't really tell you that much else about it because everything is in Korean on the back of the package. But when I did play around with this in the store, it did look really full coverage. So I'm excited to try it out. This is the bottle that it comes in. I love it because it has this soft matte finish, and of course it's got the frosted glass, which again I'm a fan of, and it's a pump. So I took 3 pumps on the back of my hand, and it's relatively watery. Again, not a bad thing. Let's hope it blends really well. And I'm gonna go in with my Clean Beauty blender. I picked up the shade Warm Ivory. So this is number 3. And unfortunately, they only have 5 shades. So the shade range, not good at all. They are all 50 shades of light. And I thought this was gonna be a good match for my skin tone, but it's actually looking super, super white. It was $17.95 at Sukoshi Mart. I'm not sure how much it is online, but if I do find it, I will pop it down here for you. In terms of blendability, this foundation has it. It blends out so nicely. I haven't had any issues, no streaks. It hasn't dried down too quickly. Honestly, it's going on really well. It's dried down, but it feels like I have a bit of a powder finish, which is nice. And putting the color aside, I think my skin still looks like skin with this foundation on. So right now, 2 thumbs up. I don't have a new concealer to work with, so I'm just gonna go in with my Maybelline Age Rewind concealer. Normally I wouldn't put on any more concealer, and I don't know if this is translating on camera really well, but it is super yellow compared to the foundation that I have on. But I just want to see how concealer is gonna blend over this foundation. As you can see, the concealer did go on really, really nicely. It didn't gather anywhere. It didn't shift the foundation underneath. I am pretty happy with it. I don't have any Korean powders or Japanese powders at the moment, so I'm just gonna be using my Rimmel Stay Matte powder. Also, apologies in advance for any ambient noise that you might be hearing. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, depending on how you see it, today happens to be a beautiful day in my neck of the woods. So I have tons of neighbors, including my own father, who is outside right now mowing the lawn and weed whacking. So all I can hear is the weed whacker at the moment, and hopefully it's not too disruptive for this video, but I feel like if I wait for him to finish, I'm gonna lose a lot of daylight. So I wanna keep going. Now that my loose powder is on, I'm just gonna go in with my regular MAC Studio Fix powder and a big fluffy brush from It Cosmetics. For bronzer today, I'm gonna go in with my usual Marc Jacobs Omega bronzer in the shade Tantastic, and I'm gonna be pretty generous because my face needs some warmth. I gotta get some color back in here. Oh shoot, I forgot I have a cream blush. I'm gonna try it on one cheek just to see how it's gonna look. I'm actually gonna be using this e.l.f. blush here that I picked up from Winners. It is the Beautifully Bare Peach Perfection Cream Blush. I got it for $4, which is a really good price for a blush. Ooh, look at this fancy packaging. Oh, doesn't smell, but that's what it looks like. I noticed that many of the Korean blushes that I've been seeing across most of these K-Beauty and J-Beauty stores are cream based, so that's why I figured this would be a good blush to try. And I'm just going to literally stick my finger in there so I can warm up the product a little bit. Just gonna try it on the back of my hand first. You know what? It actually looks quite nice, very subtle, and it seems to blend out really well. I am hopeful that I can make this work. Now again, it might not look perfect because it's going on top of powder. I know I buggered up here, but we're gonna try. This is supposed to be a cream to powder finish, so we'll see what happens, I guess. Oh, that's actually really nice. I did lift up some of the powder that was underneath, so the blush doesn't look perfectly smooth on my skin. Again, that's user error on my part. Definitely not the fault of the powder or the foundation at the moment, but I certainly like the way it looks. I think it's looking a little bit stronger on camera than what it's looking like in person at the moment, but I think the color is just so beautiful. I can definitely see myself wearing this in the summertime when I just have a very light sort of BB cream on and I need to run out the door. I just throw this on and poof, I've got a beautiful glow to my cheeks. I don't have anything new to use for my brows, so I'm just gonna do them off camera and I will be right back. I am gonna move on to eyeshadow. I'm gonna be using these two eye quads here from Etude House. This one here is in the shade Blooming Coral, and I have Orange Party over here. So this is what Orange Party is looking like, and that is what Blooming Coral looks like. Both are, I think, really, really pretty. And I think I'm going to use a combination of both of them because I really want to go into this gold shade here and have that really be the standout item of the eye look. I think I'm going to start off with this color over here and use that as a transition in my crease. So I'm just going to take it on this Wayne Goss brush here. Ooh, I don't know if you could see that, but it's really powdery. So I'm just very messily sort of putting that all over my crease, and you probably can't really see this color very much because it is so close to my skin tone. Now I'm gonna go into the Blooming Coral quad, and I'm gonna take, I think, this darker caramel color here. Not that it's significantly darker than the other one, but it is darker nonetheless. That's actually a really nice color, and it's blending beautifully. I think it looks a little more brown in the quad, but when you put it on your eyes, it definitely has, at least from what I can tell, more of a yellow undertone to it. I think I've blended that out as best I can. So now I'm just gonna take this darker brown over here again from the Blooming Coral palette, and I'm gonna continue to build my crease out. I think that's all I'm gonna do with my eyes for the moment. It's probably best to move on to eyeliner now, and I'm gonna be using this new eyeliner that I got here from Shiseido. This is the Instroke eyeliner, and I have mine in the shade Kuromitsu Brown. Let's pop this open. Oh, it looks like it comes with a little brush. And there's the pot of eyeliner. Now generally I don't like eyeliners like this where I have to dip into a pot and then paint them on. I find using a liquid eyeliner is so much easier, but for the sake of this video, we're going outside of our comfort zone. I'm gonna take this outside of its plastic shell and let's see what we're working with. Ooh, 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 ooh. Do you guys see that? It's such a fine tip. I think this is gonna be really nice. Oh, look at that. We've got a nice long eyeliner to work with. This is great. I'm just gonna undo this. And that is what the pot looks like. It looks like a pretty decent chocolate brown color. I had to pause for a quick second and actually look at the instructions on the box here. Not that they're super thorough or anything, but do you guys see this little like V divot inside of the eyeliner pot? Apparently what you do is you go in there with your eyeliner, just like I'm doing right now, to grab some color, and then you wipe it along that little divot over there to make sure you didn't take too much. That went on a lot better than I had anticipated. And I think a lot of it has to do with the inclusion of this brush in the pot eyeliner. It didn't tug, it went on nice and pigmented. I did go over it a couple of times just to make sure I built it up to the opacity for which I wanted. But I think even if you went over it once, as you guys saw, it'll still look beautiful. I do have to put on some mascara, and I've decided to forego any false lashes for today. So I'm just gonna be using this Dior Show mascara. This is the Pump and Volume. It's sort of a squeezy tube mascara, and that is what the wand looks like. So it's a little bit spiky, and I'm hoping this is gonna volumize my lashes nicely. Now we have to select a lip color, and I picked out a few from Shiseido. That's one of my, I think, favorite Japanese makeup brands. The first color I have here is called First Bite, and this is what it looks like. A really, really pretty red, and of course all of these are going to be red. I don't think I actually have any other color. So that's First Bite. I think it's just a little too light. The next color is Rum Punch, and that's what it looks like. So it is a little bit deeper. Ooh, I like that one. Although I don't know if that's a good fit for this look either. And lastly, I have Real Ruby. It swatches like that, and winner, winner, chicken dinner. I think that's gonna be the one. So you can see this foundation up close and personal. On my nose, I don't know if this is translating really well on camera. You can see that it's not exactly sitting really great. It is catching on all of my dry spots, which is a little unfortunate. So my nose is looking scaly, and my cheeks are looking very, very similar. Now, I'm gonna blame my cheeks on user error because I put a cream blush on top of my powder, which is probably why it's looking as janky as it is. But the lower I come down on my face, the rest is looking like really good. I mean, same problem over here on the cheeks, but the rest of my face is still nice and smooth. Even the eyes are still looking really, really nice. The eyeshadow is beautiful. I'm just gonna go about the rest of my day, and I'm gonna check in once at the end of the day, and you guys can see if this foundation and I guess the rest of the makeup held up. So I'm gonna see you in just a second. Hey guys, I am back for the final check-in of the day. It is 10:11. I don't know if you guys can see that. 10:11 at night, and I really want to take this makeup off my face because it's not looking really good. I did wear my glasses because I need them to actually see the world in HD. So around my nose area, it is looking really, really bad. But I'm gonna zoom you in as much as I am able. Hopefully this stays in focus, and my eyes are looking at the viewfinder. So this is what my forehead is looking like at the moment. Not the worst part of my face. I think my forehead is actually the best part, and it's also the area where I don't usually have any troubles. However, as soon as I come down to my nose, oh, I'm sure you guys can see the indents of my glasses very distinctly and very clearly. The foundation has certainly like caked up all over here. It's also not sitting very well on either of my cheeks. Down around this area over here, I think I'm looking okay. The foundation shifts quite a bit. I mean, I can just do one of these and you'll see my fingerprints on my face. I don't particularly like the way this foundation has worn. On the bright side though, my eyeshadow looks really good. My eyeliner, I am also incredibly impressed with. It has stayed put, it has not budged, hasn't transferred to my upper eyelid, which is usually a problem that I have because of my oily lids. It is looking really good. My lipstick, well, it's faded because I've eaten, but that's to be expected with just a regular bullet lipstick. In terms of the primer, I think I'm going to need to play around with it a little bit more and test it out with some of my favorite foundations, just because I know how some of these amazing foundations perform, so any small change that I'll make, I'll know exactly what the cause was, if it was a bad primer, a bad powder, whatever the case is. But initially, I did like the way it applied to my face. I don't think it has kept the oil at bay because I am quite greasy, but my pores still look filled in despite the way the foundation is looking over top of them. Basically, from this video, I would not recommend this foundation only based on this first impressions. Maybe if I play around with it a little bit more, try a different primer underneath, maybe it'll work a little bit better with my skin that way. Like I said, this primer, I'll bench it for now and I'll come back with a more thorough review once I have more thoughts. The Shiseido eyeliner, that is a banger and a keeper. Highly recommended if you're able to get your hands on it. These two eyeshadow quads from Etude house, I think these are wonderful and I would certainly recommend them. The colors do look a bit dull. They're probably not the ones that pop out at you the most, but given the way they've worn on my lids, I would say the formulation of them is really good. I do like this e.l.f. blush for $3.99. I think it's definitely worth picking up if you can find it at a Winners or a Marshalls. The Shiseido lipsticks, I love these. I've had them for a long time and I would not hesitate to recommend them. They are just very comfortable to wear, really creamy and hydrating and beautiful shades of red. I think that's it in terms of all of the Korean beauty and Japanese beauty products that I use, as well as some additional new-ish items. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am such a fan of K-beauty and J-beauty and I can't wait to dive into it even more. Hopefully I'll be able to discover more new brands in the near future, and when I do, I will certainly film a video for you. Let me know in the comments below if you have a favorite K-beauty or a J-beauty brand. What is your favorite product? What is your favorite brand? And how do you incorporate it in your day-to-day routine? Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, before you click out of this video, to give it a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you have been a subscriber for a really long time, I want to take a quick second to say thank you so much for becoming a part of my makeup family here on YouTube. I really appreciate you. If you want to keep up with me outside of YouTube, you can always do that by following me on all of my social media, which I will link for you in the description box below. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you are all having an amazing day, no matter where you are in the world. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.